All right, it is October 28th at 3:30 in the morning. I'm heading up north. I got up at 2:30, packed the truck or loaded the truck, and I'm heading up. For me, it's up north. It's the top third, probably the bottom of the top third of the state. Usually about late October, some new bucks will roll in for the rut and push everything around and stir it all up. So chances are there's something like that going on. Maybe there's a new buck in the area. We'll find out. Pretty excited. Solo tripping it. It's going to be real chilly, 20 degrees at nighttime, probably 40, 50 in the daytime. Might get up into the 60s for a little bit on Saturday night or evening. Other than that, it's going to be pretty chilly. I'm tenting it. Normally I bring a camper, but I'm trying to keep it light this weekend. And really just, I'm solo hunting, so we'll see how it goes. I'll catch you in the stand. All right, today is October 28th. It's about 9 a.m. It's chilly up here on my property in central Michigan region. Haven't seen anything yet this morning. It says it's supposed to be about 5 mile an hour southeast wind, but I haven't felt any breezes. Been dropping milkweed and it's just changing from dead north to dead south, so it's really slow, very calm. All right, what's up everybody? Today is October 28th. It's about 2:30 in the afternoon, not quite 2:30, getting close. I'm up north at my property here camping. Decided to go light and I'm tenting it today, or this weekend. Today's Friday. I'm doing a 3-day weekend, so I'll be Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I hunted this morning. I saw one deer at a distance. When I was heading to my stand, there was a deer moving underneath my stand when I got there, so I bumped him. Pretty sure it was one of the bucks that is there around daylight every morning. So unfortunately he skedaddled and I didn't get to see him later on. But tonight I've got pretty high hopes, going to the same spot as I was at this morning. However, the evening wind is really in my favor and we've got a lot of activity in the evening. So it usually starts around 4 o'clock, so get out there a little bit early, set up the camera gear. I gotta drop a couple SD cards off at some cameras on the way, and then we'll see you in the tree stand. Hey everybody, just got settled in. It is about 3 o'clock. Took me about 40 minutes to drop off 2 memory cards on the way. It's actually really convenient with the way the wind's blowing right now. I'm in the same stand I sat in this morning. However, this is definitely a good evening spot. A little bit, maybe 20 minutes after I got down this morning, I had a nice little 8.2-year-old come through right under the stand on this camera I got here. Usually there's a community scrape right down here. Looks like it's just breaking ground this time, so a little bit late this year. I've noticed a couple of my community scrapes are smaller than normal. But I did put a camera over one over there, and like I said, about 20 minutes after I got down this morning, I had a small 2-year-old 8-point come through. So would have been nice if I stuck it out and saw him in person. Nice little morale boost. But I did find on some other memory cards I was able to pull this morning on my exit, which is not the way it came back, so those don't have any cards in them. But I was able to find, we have a couple new bucks that showed up the last 2 weeks. One very consistent, however, he's on a nighttime pattern over there where that camera's taking his photos. But it appears he could be coming from where I'm at right now. So there's a chance that maybe he's daylight over here in one of my shooting lanes here. This tree stand is really high up. It's about 24, 25 feet up. I can see a long ways. I got a lot of opportunities for shots, and my wind is blowing right over top of a cattail swamp. I dropped some milkweed. Seems to be staying above the swamp. It's a pretty light breeze, but it's a southeast today. I think I'm really in position to have a good opportunity. A lot of evening photos of 3 specific bucks in front of this stand. 2 smaller 8 points. One's 2.5, one's 3.5, but his rack just isn't there yet. But man, he's swelled up like a balloon these last couple weeks. He's real thick right now. Anyway, they're frequent flyers here. I'm not going to shoot them. I passed on them on October 2nd. I'm just not going to shoot them this year. Let them go. The reason being is I'm trying to improve some of the quality here, and a lot of my neighbors are on board with that too, so I kind of want to fall in line with that. And I have some other deer that have my interest. One that I call Hefty. He is a 3-year-old 8-point. If he survives, he's going to be a stud next year, but he's a really nice buck this year. Definitely something that would make me happy to put my tag on, so I'm hoping to get a chance at him. He's a frequent flyer here too. He seems to be on a pattern. I think we're just outside of his bedroom. Yeah, let's have a good day. It's beautiful weather. It was in the 20s this morning, but right now it's in the high 40s. Bluebird sky. I guess there's a couple clouds that are forming, but I really do expect to have if anything, a relaxing sit. It's comfortable weather right now, so. There's an arrow in him. There's like this tiny little autumn olive like bush like slightly in front of him with no leaves. I don't think I hit any of those twigs, but if I did, it still made its impact where it needed to be. So, yeah, I was definitely. I want to say I was a tad high, but behind the shoulder. So I could have got top lung. All right, here's a little bit of a follow-up. So I had what turned out to be an incredible evening this evening. One of the most memorable hunts I've ever had. The most memorable hunt I've ever had. And I did pay attention to the fact that his neck was up instead of his head being down, and he still was able to duck this arrow. I did not compensate enough. If you look in slow-mo, it hits right where it needs to be if the deer didn't move. I haven't gone to look for it yet. I don't feel very good about it. I actually almost got down out of the stand, but the fact that I started packing up and a deer was walking in, I sat back down, got my composure, and continued hunting. I do have 3 deer tags, assuming that was one filled. I still had another buck and a doe tag, so I sat patiently, and then less than an hour later, another mature 3-year-old came in. He ended up coming into 11 yards. And when you're 24 to 26 feet in the air at 11 yards, that's a tough angle shot. When I drew back, I don't have the same angle that I'm shooting at that the camera is picking up. The camera's looking through some brush. I didn't have to look through the same brush, but I took a frontal shot. I felt real good about taking that frontal shot, and the deer dropped in his tracks. I did have to do a follow-up shot. I'm not going to show that. It's been over 3 hours since I shot the other buck, which I'm assuming if it hit a vital organ, it's going to have clipped the top of the lungs. The entry is going to be higher than the exit. The entry looked like is a few inches below the spine. It definitely wasn't far back enough to be any kind of guts or anything like that. It's definitely going to be lung if it hit anything vital. So, all right, today is October 29th. This is the 8-point I shot last night. This was actually the second buck I shot last night. The first buck I still haven't found. I'm taking a little break here to eat some lunch and to talk about this deer. I am still searching for the other deer I shot. So this buck's actually newer to the area. He started showing up about a week ago. out in the farmer's field back section of my property. It's a alfalfa hay mixture. So this buck's been back there. That's not a cell cam or anything like that, so I didn't even know he was here until yesterday morning when I pulled that card, and I actually shot him in the evening. He was not irregular where I was hunting yesterday, though, even though it's not too far from it. I hadn't seen him in the spot where I shot him at. But he did come into 11 yards. I took a quartering two, a hard quartering two, entered right at the base of the neck and shoulder blade, went through his shoulder and into his lungs. And he didn't go anywhere. However, this was the second buck I shot last night, about an hour prior. So I shot him at 6:39. And I shot another 8-point at 5:43-ish, maybe 5:45. At 35 yards, he ended up ducking my arrow more than I thought he would. He actually didn't even begin ducking till the arrow was about 10 yards out. It's pretty amazing how fast they can do that. You can see it in slow-mo on the video. But regardless, he ended up going about 40 yards before I found first blood last night. And for about 60 yards straight, it was solid blood, but it was some fat in there, and the blood was pretty rich red. So didn't indicate any lungs. I think from front to back on the deer horizontally, I would have said it would have been a lung shot. However, for how high it was, it's right in that back straps. I don't know if I got an artery or if it's all muscle tissue that I'm seeing the blood on. I did end up calling it quits last night to recharge some batteries for some headlights. Came back to camp, slept, and the first thing this morning I went back looking. But anyway, this buck here, so I was sulking in the tree stand after having that shot on the first buck. I didn't feel very good about it. Watched it back in the video, it didn't look very good. You know, I almost got down out of the stand and backed out in order to just recoup and gather myself. And there was actually a deer behind me that had pinned me. It must have been a doe or something. And she had me pinned, so I stayed, and I thought to myself, you know, I do have 2 buck tags and a doe tag. I might as well just wait it out and finish the hunt. Prime time's coming. It's a Halloween weekend. It's a good time to be in the woods. So I ended up sticking it out, and less than an hour later, I saw him coming up the exact same pipeline area that the first buck came up. So he did a lot of the same things. He rubbed. I grunted at him when he didn't want to come my way. He started licking his lips and came straight in. He hit a couple trees. He made 2 scrapes about 15 yards from my tree stand, but he was on the other side of a pine tree, so I don't think the video caught it at all. He was going to walk at about 12 yards, 11 yards, and I drew back when he was behind the pine tree. Of course, the angle of the camera and my angle are different from each other. I didn't realize he was behind so much brush for the camera, but he pinned me when I drew back, and I thought he was going to wheel out the back way that he came in, so I went ahead and took that frontal shot. Like I said, it went at the base of the neck into the shoulder, and he was done right there. So anyway, this is the buck. He's beautiful, beautiful Michigan 8-point here. This is a really good 3-year-old, good example of what we have in the area. There are some bigger and there are some older bucks, so good luck to the rest of you, and I'll make another update after I complete my search for the other buck today. All right, I'm packing up to head on home. I did not end up successfully finding Hefty, nor did I see him. I hunted his bedding area today, trying to see if I could get eyes on him at least. I did leave a couple cameras where I think he'll be if he's still out there. Really does look like it's probably a backstrap style hit. It didn't spine him because he didn't drop down, didn't hit his lungs, it wasn't lung blood, and if I hit that artery he would have bled out a lot sooner. So really hoping it was just muscle tissue bleeding that we saw. That's the bitter side. The sweet side is I am going home with a really nice 3-year-old buck, a good 8-point, and I am beyond thrilled with that. That's just the magic of this changing season. Late October, new bucks roll in. It's exactly what this guy was, new buck for us, and start pushing around, and testosterone gets the better of these guys as they start looking for hot does. And fortunately, I was able to capitalize on him after messing up a shot less than an hour prior. So a successful hunt in the end there, you know, try to celebrate what we did succeed on, and learn our lessons from the mistakes we made. The way a deer can drop is pretty incredible when they see or hear that arrow. So when I throw the video together, I'll try to get a good slow-mo clip of that to kind of really show what happened once that arrow was in motion. So the drop was pretty significant. Anyway, I'm going to be signing off here, so I'll drive home tonight, and trick or treat is coming up. It's almost Halloween, so I get to take the kiddo out for that. I'm pretty excited, and hopefully we'll be back up here shortly. And all right, that's all I got. See ya.